Hello again, my name's Gabe Zona. I'm going to attach a link of a video that I just received, and the title is HR 2942, quote, Stop, Catch and Release Act, end of quote, introduced. And in that video you'll see the congressman from the great state of Arizona, Matt Salmon, and with him you'll see Sheriff Joe Arpaio. And Matt Salmon is the one that introduced HR 2942, which is a Stop, Catch, and Release Act. And what he talks about is a gentleman by the name of Grant, who was shot in the face and killed by one of these illegals that were caught and released by ICE. And Grant was shot in the face over a few packages of cigarettes. And then you'll hear Sheriff Joe Arpaio give some interesting numbers. He said that over the past 18 months, 5,000 prisoners that were in his custody that were released to ICE. Out of those 5,000, 38% have come back into the system. Now, who do you blame? Do you blame Obama's catch and release program? Or do you blame what I believe is the real problem, and that is our open borders? These people can be taken to the border, walked across the border, and then they can be back in the United States that same evening. Until the border is secure, this is the kind of insanity that's going to continue. You know, if you watch some of my previous videos, I have said that what needs to happen is our military needs to be put along the border shoulder to shoulder. Literally shoulder to shoulder. That won't stop at all because there's countless tunnels that are dug under the border around San Diego, the Tijuana border, and countless other parts of the border between Mexico and the United States. But what can happen is you'll dramatically slow down the number of illegals that enter into this country. You'll dramatically slow down the number of drugs that are imported into this country. The HR 2942 Stop and Catch Release Act won't accomplish much of anything as long as the borders are as porous as they are. That's sort of what I think. You know, what's interesting is the Congressman Matt Salmon. I've met with him, and I had proposed that he propose 3 separate bills. I spoke about 2 of those recently, and I actually forgot the third. And one of my viewers reminded me. The third was to have all members of Congress drug tested on a random basis. I gotta believe a certain percentage of them are addicted to either illegal or legal drugs or alcohol. I'm convinced of that fact. And when we have our pilots, our transport pilots, and we have military personnel, and we have police that have to submit to random drug testing, why the hell wouldn't we demand the same of our members of Congress? Well, we know they don't do much of anything as it is. We know that they don't read the bills that they sign into law. Obamacare is a perfect example of that. We know that they're corrupt because they're allowed to do insider trading. We know that they consider themselves to be what they are, the elitists. And we're just the slaves that support their lifestyles. I'm sort of getting off the topic here. I think what the congressman wants to do is a nice effort. I'd like to see him propose the 3 bills. And again, the first one that I suggested to him is drug testing. The second one is to make certain that all members of Congress are tested on the material within a bill. And if they're not familiar with the bill, they're not allowed to vote on the bill. When you have senators like Rand Paul from Kentucky hold up a book and say, we were told that we have to vote on this book, and there's 550 pages in this book, and we don't have time to read what's in it. Folks, are you sort of getting the picture? If they don't do what needs to be done, and they come out with these other bills that really don't do much of anything, if the borders aren't secure, H.R. 2942 won't accomplish anything. That's sort of what I think. I don't know, folks. You think you're getting your money's worth out of these members of Congress? Out of the senators? I don't. Do you?